Fortnite has been out for almost 5 years now. The original release date of the Battle Royale mode was September 26th, 2017. And within that time frame, there has been a ton of items, from skins to pickaxes to weapons on the map. So today, I thought it would be fun to switch things up and cover the 15 rarest things throughout Fortnite's history. And speaking of which, guys, if you think it would be awesome to see one of these rarest items show up in your locker when you next get on Fortnite, leave a like on the video and also make sure to subscribe. And as for the skin challenge on last video, I'm not home right now, so we're gonna have to double up for next time, but comment down below if you know the name of this skin, and I'll leave hearts on a bunch of the ones that get that right. So starting out the video, guys, did you know there's actually a Minecraft item inside of Fortnite? That's right, and it is one of the rarest items ever. Granted, it's not the coolest item in the world because it's a banner. Banners have been in the game since the very beginning, even before Battle Royale, inside of Save the World. And speaking of Save the World, there was a special event called Search for Survivors where a bunch of YouTubers participated and viewers could earn banners from some of their favorite YouTubers. One of those YouTubers was Chaos Flow, whose logo he had added into the game was a watermelon, which when you compare it to the Minecraft watermelon is literally the exact same, which makes sense because he's a Minecraft YouTuber. But that also makes it one of the rarest items in the game since it was all the way back in like 2017. But moving on to number 2, this is actually an item that was scrapped very early on. It is called the Big Poppy Grenade, and it is one of the most interesting items I've ever seen. Basically, you throw it like a normal grenade, and then it spawns this huge beach ball that slowly expands until it pops. Now, you may be wondering, how is that useful? Well, its main use was to destroy builds. You threw it at a structure, it expanded, and then destroyed everything that it touched. Now, I find this especially interesting because we now have giant beach balls just on the map. And speaking of items, what about a mythic item, specifically a mythic weapon that you've never gotten to use? That's because we weren't ever allowed to use it, but it was inside of the game. The weapon I'm talking about is the Predator Claw. Now, whereas we could pick up Predator's cloaking device as a mythic, the claws itself was exclusive to the boss. Only he could use them, and that's mainly how he dealt damage. And with that boss leaving at the end of Chapter 2 Season 5, that was the last time we ever even saw this item in use. However, we did get to unlock it as a pickaxe. Granted, it didn't work the same way. And speaking of pickaxes, the next one is one of the rarest pickaxes in the game, and it was actually available in the item shop, but guess how many days ago that was? Over 1,425 days. And the pickaxe I'm talking about is the Drumbeat pickaxe. Now, funnily enough, I actually have this one. I picked it up because it has a cool sound. Since it's a drum, it makes drum sounds when you're pickaxing stuff. It's actually a really loud pickaxe, but considering it's not the coolest looking pickaxe, not a ton of people picked it up, which makes it even more rare. Then moving on to something that only appeared in Chapter 2 briefly and was honestly such a secret that a ton of people overlooked it. That item is the Golden Mushroom. Now, this was actually a golden variant of the regular mushroom consumable, but instead of granting you, the small amount of shield a normal one does, it instead gave you 100 shield. However, finding one was very rare. It was said that there was a 1 in 10,000 chance of it replacing a normal mushroom on the map, and the easiest way to go about even finding one was to actually get it inside of creative. And as of right now, it's vaulted, but I kind of wish they would bring it back. But what about an item that could only be obtained through a sort of oversight by Fortnite themselves? I'm talking about the Hollowback backbling, but specifically with the Blarg emoticon equipped to it. Now, I've shown you this a bit before, but I have this one because back in Chapter 2 Season 8, you could unlock this emoticon from the Battle Pass. For some reason, it was the only animated emoticon that could be equipped to the Hollowback backbling due to some weird glitch. However, if you had it equipped when they eventually fixed it, you still can use it in game today. However, nobody else can get it. And also, if you happen to equip any other emoticon, it'll disappear and be gone forever. And speaking of rare items, how about an emote? This one's intriguing because it wasn't ever in the item shop. Honestly, one of the most solid emotes ever to be released. It's got good dance moves, got good music, but the way that you got this was through a Twitch collab way early on in Fortnite. And then around a similar time to that, a skin released into the item shop that hasn't been seen again in over 1,285 days. The skin I'm talking about here is the Special Forces skin. It is a blue rarity outfit that cost 1200 V-Bucks at the time, which honestly is quite a bit for the detail on the skin. It's just a reskin of the normal default outfit, but for 1200 V-Bucks, that's the reason I'm assuming they essentially vaulted it. However, it appeared 32 times in the item shop, with the last one being on January 24th, 2019. So yeah, I'm assuming it didn't sell that much, considering that outfits have gotten way cooler since then. But talking about cool items, how about sprays? Okay, maybe sprays aren't the coolest thing in the world, but there are some very intriguing ones. Like, for example, the, however you pronounce this guy's name, he's a Twitch streamer and YouTuber that had his logo included in the game as a spray. But what makes it especially rare is that I heard there were only around 2,500 codes that were given out, which is honestly super limited compared to any other code for an item that's dropped inside of Fortnite. I believe this was because he wanted to keep it to his audience essentially, which is intriguing. But again, that also made it one of the rarest sprays in the game. But moving back into it with mythic weapons and stuff, or specifically this is more of an item, but it's a mythic that was maybe in the game for the least amount of time. And that is Batman's grapnel gun. That's right, a collaboration item that was introduced way back in Chapter 1 Season X for the Batman collaboration that only lasted like, I want to say like a week or two. It was years ago, all right? It's kind of hard to remember. But again, it wasn't very long. Now this acted very similar to the grappler, except when you used it, you would shoot up into the air and then immediately pull a glider, which was actually Batman's glider. It forced you to use that one, and it was honestly a pretty cool item. But again, once that collaboration ended, the item was then vaulted. And then how about one of the earliest free skins that happened to be also one of the most difficult to get? I'm talking about the original Galaxy skin. Yes, this one right here, which went on to inspire a ton of other skins that later released in the item shop, and there's even one that I think is coming with a collaboration soon. We just had a tournament for it, but this was the OG. Now the release date for this was almost 4 years ago, around August 10th, 2018. And the way you got it was by purchasing a Galaxy Note 9 or a Galaxy Tab S4, and then playing a few games of Fortnite on that device. Now those devices were like $1,000 at the time, making it a very tough item to get. It was also only one per device, so it became super rare. Later on, they even added a special pickaxe as well as a back bling exclusive to this skin. And to this day, it is definitely one of the coolest in the game. And then guys, how about an emote that hasn't been in the item shop for about 3.5 years? I'm talking about the breezy emote. Now this one isn't the longest wait for an emote. There's a few others that beat it, but it is one that not a ton of people talk about. It hasn't been in the item shop for over 1,150 days, and it only cost 200 V-Bucks at the time, which makes it even more interesting. On top of that, it wasn't a part of any like legal stuff, so the reason for it not re-releasing is kind of a mystery. But on top of that, it released alongside the Hot Air set with all of the wacky inflatable skins, which explains it a lot more. And then getting back into it with mythic items, this is one that a lot of you probably already know about, but do you know how rare it exactly is? Let's talk about the mythic goldfish. Ah yes, the absolute rarest like weapon type item or in-game item. You guys know the fishing spots around the map. You can get floppers from them, weapons, all of that stuff. But you can also get this item right here, which deals 200 damage to opponents when thrown. However, the chances of getting it are 1 in a million. That's right, guys, 1 in a million. According to the wiki, you are 75,000 times more likely to get medium bullets from a fishing spot. That means the majority of players will never see this in any of their matches. Although I am curious, can you store it inside of a tent? That would by far be the best thing to do with this. And we haven't talked about a pickaxe yet, so how about the Merriment pickaxe? This one never released in the item shop. In fact, it released in a very special way, and that was through special little cards that you could get from places like GameStop and Target. All you had to do was go to these stores and purchase a Fortnite licensed item, and they would give you a little card that you could use to redeem this pickaxe. Now this got super out of hand with a ton of people going to these stores and buying Fortnite stuff in order to get pickaxe codes. They eventually ran out of like the physical ones, and then I remember Epic Games had to set up a new system where they printed on the receipt or something like that. It honestly became kind of a mess, which is intriguing in and of itself. But yeah, the item is fairly rare. It hasn't re-released in over 2.5 years, and it's got this really cool fire effect to it that is honestly pretty sick. However, it doesn't quite compare to the rarity of the rarest pickaxe in the game, which is the Axe of Champions. This too cannot be purchased from the item shop. In fact, it can't be purchased anywhere. The only people that are granted this harvesting tool is by winning an FNCS tournament, which makes it, yeah, nearly impossible to get. But in case that wasn't rare enough for you, players only get to keep it until the next tournament because it switches over to the next winners of the following FNCS. So yeah, you don't even get to keep it forever, which I kind of would be mad about, but it's also kind of cool. It's the only item that Fortnite has ever done that with. So yeah, guys, that is it for all of the rarest things inside of Fortnite. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe and also check out some of my previous videos on the screen right here. Got some really good ones. Check them out. But again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.